Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Follow the Dogie. There's our Dogie back there, Waffles. I'm Daisy. I'm a certified yoga instructor, and today we are going to be talking about the abductors. All right, so kind of an unusual word, not one that you hear in everyday language, but it is something that you might hear in the gym or the yoga studio or anywhere where you're conversing with people about fitness. So the abductors are the muscles that move your limbs away from your body. So when we're talking about hip abduction, we're talking about the motion that moves your leg from the hip joint away from your body. Now, we also have other limbs that move away from our body, but we're still kind of talking about the lower body. So we are going to talk about hip abduction. We're going to talk about hip abduction today. So that means we're talking about the abductors of the hip joint. Now, which muscles are those? They are your gluteus minimus, gluteus medius, and tensor fasciae latae. So why wouldn't I just say we're going to talk about your glutes today? Because we're not talking about your gluteus maximus. Your gluteus maximus is the largest of your gluteal muscles, and it doesn't really do much for abduction. It's not really a big help because let me show you where it's located. So we've got your gluteus maximus is back here, right? And we talked before about how it helps you how it helps you extend your hip and rotate it. So when we're talking about abduction, we need a muscle that when it tightens, it pulls the leg out. So that means we need muscles that are along the side of the hip to tighten in order for that motion to happen. And that is not the gluteus maximus. No, it is not. Instead, it is the gluteus minimus, which is all the way inside, and the gluteus medius, which sits on top of the gluteus minimus, and your tensor fasciae latae, which connects your hip down to your femur. So what does that mean to us? Why do we care? Why do we care where our abductors are? Well, we want our body to be able to feel stable as we walk, and we don't want to have to compensate with our other muscles. For example, a lot of people use their back to stabilize themselves in a very conscious manner. Like when you feel like you're going to fall, you catch yourself from the waist, or a lot of people will bend over from the waist. And we're doing a lot of action training our back to carry more of the load than it needs to. Whereas when you start to fall over, if you can tighten your glutes on this side, it's going to pull you back to center because you are taking this hip from a deeper flexion to abduction. From adduction. See, when we move this way, our hip angle here is wider, which means that it would be the same as if we crossed our leg over here. So that hip angle is the same as when we slip this way. Whereas when we tighten it, it's going to help to stabilize us. It keeps us from falling over sideways. Now, how do we build stability as we're walking, as we're going from a lunge up to stand? Or if we are supporting our weight with our arms and then we lift our arms off the ground, then what happens? Especially if we're in a low lunge. So come to a low lunge with me. Okay. So come to a low lunge with me and then take your hands off the ground. See what happens. Notice how when you take your hands off the ground, you start to fall one way or another. Now, when you try really, really hard to hold yourself stable, see if you can tell where in your body you feel your muscles tightening. So one more time, take your hands off the ground and try your best to stay steady and see where you feel that movement in your muscles. Okay? So notice you'll feel a little bit of tightening on the sides of your booty. It's the sides of your booty. It's not the back of your booty that keeps you stable when you feel like you might fall from side to side. Or if you're wanting, to do a little jig with a little sidestepping, we're again using the sides of our gluteal muscles. We're using our gluteus minimus, gluteus maximus, and tensor fascia latae. Waffles, we gonna play some games now? You wanna play? Sit. Oh, she's so excited. You may be able to see this, but right here we have a bowl of carrots. Those carrots were cooked in chicken broth, so she's very, very excited about them. But she did ask for play before she asked for the carrots. So I do believe that she wants to earn them with some fun jumping tricks. So the first thing that I want to show you is jumping over the moon. This is my favorite game to strengthen the hip abductors, which is funny because you may not see a whole lot of hip abduction while we demonstrate, but I would love for you to put in the comments where you think the hip abduction is. All right, Waffles, you ready? So there's a couple ways we can do this, right? We can really, really focus on all the muscles in our body by bringing our hands to the mat here. Push down on an inhale. Exhale, bring your hands to your thigh and push down again, and then raise your arms over. That really helps to create a lot of stability throughout your spine, throughout your axial skeleton, the part of your skeleton that doesn't wiggle around. So, but right now we're not super focused on the upper body. We're not focused on the psoas. We're not focused on the anterior side of the body. We're really focused on the sides. So we want to do whatever it takes to lessen stability in the body, because this is where we're going to really be able to recognize and notice when our abductors are kicking in. So you come to a low lunge. Let's try and bring your hands to your hips. That way you still have a little stability, but it still gives you a lot more body awareness in the lower body, especially because wherever your hands are, your brain is automatically going to have a little bit more focus. So hands to your hips, and then on an exhale, I want you to bring your hands in front of and over you as slow as you can. And here's where you either hold your animal or you invite them to join you. Waffles, pause. Good girl, stay. Now you see how that gave me a little bit of a teeter-totter here. Now when you teeter-tottered at home, did you notice anything a little bit out of the ordinary? Like maybe you noticed that it wasn't your legs that was holding you. You didn't feel that movement in your glutes. You felt that movement, I'm guessing, in your hip abductors. And if not, then that's okay. We're just going to continue doing this until our abductors kind of learn how to be active again. And jump. Nope. Waffles, come. Jump. Good girl. Good girl, yes. That was very good. Bed. Thank you. That's perfect. Thank you. All right, so anything we do on one side, we also want to do on the other side. So let's repeat that same thing on the other side. Let's go ahead and come to a low lunge. Bring your hands to your hips. Remember, we just want to create a little bit of instability here in a safe area. Waffles, pause. Whoa! Waffles, pause. Good girl, stay. All right, I can tell you saw me fall, but my abductors tried real hard because I can definitely feel a lot of tightness in the sides of my glutes. All right, Waffles, give me your pause. Come on. Good girl, stay. Stay. All right, so as you sit here, you try and good girl. Try and stay in this position either with your hands on your hips or over your head for just as long as you did on the other side. Bringing your attention to the sides of your hips. Good girl, stay. And seeing if you can recognize, nope, I said stay. Good girl. Seeing if you can recognize, good girl, stay, the activity and engagement that you feel in those muscles on the sides of your hips. And jump. Bed. Good girl, stay. Does anyone have any questions so far? Okay, so the next thing that I want to do is I want to go ahead and take this up a little bit. Just kick it up one notch, just one. Because there's another thing we can do to up the stability factor on this and really help those stabilizing muscles in our glutes to build mobility, to build strength, to build flexibility. And that's by taking this up through booty and balance. Now, we have talked about booty and balance before and how it engages all of the gluteal muscles. But mostly we've focused on, when we talked about this in the past, we've mostly talked about the gluteus maximus. In this situation, I really, really want you to focus on the stability factor, how our side glutes are stabilizing our whole body by keeping us from falling over sideways. And I want you, as we're moving through booty and balance today, I want you to really notice that in yourself. Notice the moments where you feel like, oh my goodness, if my butt didn't kick in just now, I would have fallen over. So it is starting to get a little bit warm. And we are not doing any planks or anything where Waffles is going to be on my back. So I'm going to go ahead and take one layer off and make sure that you can see everything that I do with my body so that it makes it a little bit easier for you to follow along at home. So first things first, we start in a low lunge. Let's go ahead and move this camera up a little bit though so that you can see everything that I want to show you. Make sure that you can see me when I'm standing. Perfect. All right, so first things first, we start in a low lunge. Bring your hands to the mat. Inhale, push down into the ground. Exhale, bring your hands to your thighs. Press down. Inhale, arms over your head, and now we are set up strong and stable. This is a really good starting position. Of course, our muscles are never going to be as strong as they will be down the road. So if you still fall over when your pet lands on you, like you saw me fall over earlier, do not get hard on yourself. Recognize that that is your body learning and your muscles growing. Waffles, pause, stay. When your animal joins you, tuck that back toe. Good girl, stay. And lift up into a high lunge. Waffles, pause. Good girl, stay. When you do this, you're going to have to work a little harder. Good girl, stay, and off to stabilize those muscles. And then you can release your pet, straighten both your legs, and Waffles under. Good girl, stay. Bring your hands to the mat and lift your leg up behind you, downward dog, bring it to your chest. We're just kind of building a little bit of mobility through our hips in general with this motion. But now we're going to tighten our abductors again by moving our leg outward into fire hydrant pose. So in fire hydrant pose, all of our abductors on the side with the lifted leg, this guy over here, are tightened and engaged. We have to use our gluteus minimus, medius, and our tensor fasciae latae to keep this foot in the ground. And you'll feel that tightening in your glutes on the side. Now bring your knee back to your chest and step down into downward dog. You can give yourself a little bit of a pedal here. Give yourself a little bit of a break. Lengthen your hamstrings. And then step the opposite foot forward. Good girl. Into a low lunge. Waffles out. Girl, stay. If your animal has been helping you, make sure that you reward them. Good girl. And then again on with the opposite foot forward, you're going to inhale, press down into the ground. Exhale, bring your hands to your thigh, press down. Inhale, arms up over you or at your hips. Depends on what feels right in your body today. All right, ready, Waffles? Pause. Good girl, stay. Tuck that back toe and straighten that back leg into high lunge. Good girl, stay. And up. Excellent. And straighten both legs. Pyramid pose. Waffles under. Oh, back. Under. Waffles. Down here. Good girl. Yes. Good girl. Stay. And then step back. Downward dog. Lift your leg all the way up behind you. Three-legged dog. Bring your knee forward. Knee to chest. And here we're going to lift our leg out by tightening those hip abductors. We have got our gluteus minimus, our gluteus medius, and our tensor fasciae latae engaged fully here. And bring it back to your chest. Step down into, oh, I'm so sorry, honey. I know your tail was right there. Wait, good girl. Step back into downward facing dog. Waffles, come under. Good girl. Yes, honey, sit. You'd be so crazy. I know those are so delicious. And then you can step forward, or if you have already warmed up today and it feels like a little more fun for you, hop forward. And there we are. We have officially fully exercised our hip abductors. We have, thank you so much for those likes. We have gotten our hip abductors woken up with a little bit of a warm up. We've gotten them really engaged under a load of weight, and we've increased that by adding our own body weight on top of our animal's weight and taking it to a whole nother level by using our hip abductors alone to lift the weight of our legs in fire hydrant pose. Are there any questions that you guys have for me today? You just ate so many carrots, bro. Give me your princess. Thank you. Thank you so much for those likes. If you do have any questions about hip abductors and how to strengthen them, how your glutes help to stabilize your body, or anything else that's related to animal-assisted yoga, please drop them in the comments below, whether you're watching this video live, whether you're watching the replay, or you can always, if you have a question that you're not comfortable leaving in the comments and you're over 18, you're more than welcome to reach out to me on my coaching page on OnlyFans. Thank you so much for joining us. And if there are no more questions, then we will go ahead and sign off. If there is anything that you would like us to demonstrate a little slower or from a different angle so that you can see how best to practice yourself, please don't hesitate to drop those requests in the comments as well. I'll go ahead and take a little drink of water while I give you just a couple minutes in case anyone's typing. My goodness, Waffles, your hair is all over the sky right now. Yeah, look, you're getting it all up in my nose and eyeballs.
Rice.
Honey, you did eggs today. Remember, you did beef and eggs. Would you like green beans? Or sweet potato? Sweet potato. Okay, we will do sweet potato a little later. Oh, thank you so much, Poker Housewife. All right, well, thank you guys so much for joining. It looks like there are no questions, so we will go ahead and sign off. But again, we do always review our comments here, and you can also reach out to us directly through our fan page. So let me know if there's anything else that I can help guide you through, or if you have any questions in today's class. I hope that you have a wonderful day filled with magic and wonder, and we will see you next time. Waffles, you gonna say bye to our friends? Say bye, friends. That was very sweet. Thank you. Bye, everyone. Have a wonderful week. We will see you next week for another free live yoga class.